What's good, everybody? I'm BPC, and welcome to Competitive Origins MMA. Well, Jon Jones has been pretty vocal about how much money he won't fight for against the UFC heavyweight champion of the world, Francis the Predator Ngannou. Now, his head coach, Mike Winkeljohn, has shed a little bit of light on the situation and has a number that probably would convince Jon Jones to step in the octagon. And it's a big number, guys. Now, he stated that he thinks this number needs to be massive because this fight is massive on the scale of some of Floyd Mayweather's fights. Now, the number he's come up with is $50 million. That's right, guys. You heard it right. $50 million. Now, he states that the UFC can still make bank even if they pay Jon Jones $50 million, and they'll still be able to pay off all their debts. Now, he also stated that he believes that Competitive Origins MMA will hit 50 million subscribers. And if you believe him, make sure you hit that subscribe button, click the notification bell, and hit the like button on this video. Now, I want to try to break this down a little bit just for fun, guys. You know, I don't know the exact numbers, but we're going to go ahead and give it a try. Now, a UFC pay-per-view costs $69.99, okay? And let's just say this fight does massive numbers like everyone keeps saying it will. Okay, let's say 1.5 million buys. Now, neither fighter, Francis Ngannou or Jon Jones, has ever sold 1 million pay-per-views. You know, so now it's like, okay, well, we'll just give it to them 1.5 million. That's what they're going to do. You know, this would actually be the fourth biggest UFC pay-per-view of all time, behind McGregor versus Khabib, McGregor versus Diaz 2, and McGregor versus Poirier 2. Now, you think 99 times 1.5 million is around $105 million. Now, how much the UFC actually gets off that $105 million is, you know, I have no idea, honestly. You know, obviously they're partners with ESPN, so I don't know how that whole situation works out, but let's just say they get to keep all $105 million. Now we go to the gate. Well, let's just say $11 million gate. That would actually make it the fourth biggest UFC gate of all time as well, behind McGregor versus Alvarez, behind McGregor versus Khabib, and then behind GSP and Shields. Now, let's try to combine that 105 million plus 11 million, and we're looking at about $116 million. Now, of course, you can factor in and say, well, they're going to get sponsorships, there's going to be merchandise, there's going to be concessions, and that's all true. But let's just offset the sponsorship, the merchandise, and the concessions. You know, let's offset it with like the labor, you know, that they're going to have to pay all their staff to actually work the event. All the money that's going to have to go into marketing. Marketing is very, very expensive, right? So let's just say marketing, and then let's just say miscellaneous, all the other stuff that I'm leaving out here. You know, probably insurance and all that other stuff for the card. I don't know what else they have, but there's obviously a lot of money that goes into putting on these events, especially an event on this scale. So you're thinking, okay, let's just offset it, right? So we're looking at $116 million. Now you take minus $50 million, which would be, according to Mike Winkeljohn, Jon Jones's cut. That leaves the UFC with $66 million left. And they still got to pay the UFC heavyweight champion, Francis Ngannou. So does Francis Ngannou get $50 million as well? Because if he did, that would leave the UFC with $16 million. And I don't just quite see that going that way, you know? So they'd have to work out some type of agreement. And then there's also the other fighters that are on the card that have to get paid as well. And it's like, at the end of the day, you know, it's UFC and then the number, and then the fighters that are involved in it. It's not just Mayweather versus so-and-so, you know? It's not Jon Jones versus Francis Ngannou. It's UFC 260-something, you know, Francis Ngannou versus Jon Jones for the UFC heavyweight championship of the world. So there you have it, guys. The numbers are like all over the place. I don't quite see Jon Jones collecting $50 million. You know, maybe if he, you know, he said he doesn't want anywhere between $8 to $10 million. Maybe he'll take $10.5 million, you know? But I have another video coming up next because the UFC apparently is trying to get somebody else to step in Jon Jones's place to face off against Francis the Predator Ngannou. So stay tuned and check that out. Let me know in the comment section though what you guys think. Do you think $50 million is outrageous, or do you think it's right on the money as in what Jon Jones should get? Now, go to competitiveorigins.com, type in promo code MMA119 so you can get 10% off this Competitive Origins Just an Obstacle t-shirt. Thank you for tuning in today, guys. I'm BPC, and remember, you've been competing since conception, whether you're competing against yourself or others. Competitive Origins.